Right, YouTube, it's Shadow King Nazir, here with a review for Rosario Vampire 2, Chapter 60. Inamoka is glad Skune managed to beat Gyokuro, but she doesn't want him to succumb to his body breaking down and thus dying. She reminds Skune of the promise of having monsters and humans coexist, so he can't be allowed to die. He then starts to regain consciousness, but is still pretty badly injured and starts coughing up blood. Plus, there's also him turning more and more into a ghoul. Gyokuro awakens and says that more or less what I just said, and thus Skune can't be saved. She also says that even if she lost to Skune in the fight, she'll still win. She then points Inamoka to a direction, and she sees that Japan is below them. And Gyokuro explains that they'll crash into the city and release Dracula upon the world. And once Dracula is released upon the world and slaughtering everyone, Fairy Tail will join Dracula in a war leading to human genocide. I'm starting to have flashbacks to Helsing. So, Gyokuro is just as bloodthirsty as the Major from Helsing. Gyokuro, you are so awesome. Anyway, Inamoka swears to stop her, the typical heroic cliche, but Gyokuro says that her stepdaughter is just as foolish as her biological mother, especially believing in the human and monsters coexisting. She then has the bat bring her Mocha's rosary and swears that she'll destroy the dream using Dracula. We then cut to a flashback of Gyokuro remembering Akasha swearing to strive for human-monster coexistence so that Mocha could live in a better life. And Gyokuro's adultering husband, Isa Shuzen, promises to help her. And this enraged Gyokuro. So as I predicted before, Gyokuro joining Fairy Tail and committing human genocide is ultimately a giant fuck you to Akasha and everything she did to her by Isa Shuzen and her cheating on her. So then Gyokuro snaps even further and promises to destroy everything Akasha held dear. We then cut to Kokwa continuing her fight with her sister Kahlua, and she manages to cut off Kahlua's bat-wing sidearm, which was her right arm. And Kahlua commends her sister for being strong, and finally acknowledges her as a mature vampire. But she says that the fight's going to be over, and it's a real shame because had Kahlua lived another 10 years, had Kokwa lived another 10 years, she would have surpassed Kahlua Shuzen. Kahlua then starts to take off her limiter, and Kokwa is excited and starts to charge at her. We then cut to Tohou Fuhai and Isa Shuzen having a beam lock, with Tohou Fuhai using the Kamehameha. No, I'm just kidding. He's just using the dark arts spell that just kind of looks like the Kamehameha. But wouldn't that have been something? Bet you're all expecting me to say that I still want that Dragon Ball Z and Rosario Vampire crossover. But we got more important things to do. Hokuto asks if everyone is alright, and Mocha, putting aside the curiosity as to how did Hokuto manage to get him on top of a building on a wheelchair. She then says that everyone's fine, she's fine, but Skune is still unconscious. Uh, she also warns Hokuto that Fairy Tail will be crashing with the human world, and Hokuto figures Gyokuro this whole time was just toying with them to stall for time. We then see what Gyokuro Shuzen's endgame was from the start. She ultimately uses the rosary and her enemy Zero ability to merge with Dracula and prepares to kill everyone. Kill all the enemies of Fairy Tail. Gyokuro is suddenly attacked by Ruby's exploding ravens. Then the other members of the newspaper club start attacking Gyokuro, including the revived Kurumu and Mizure. This causes Skinny to find the strength and resolve to continue fighting Gyokuro, and everyone prepares to face Gyokuro Shuzen. But then they start to hear an alarm warning they have only about 30 minutes to stop her before Fairy Tail impacts on Japan. Woohoo! This is where things are getting really, really good. We're finally seeing the end. We saw some motivation for Gyokuro Shuzen's reasons for doing what she's doing, and it's nice to see the reunion of the newspaper club for their final battle, or their penultimate final battle. They still got to face the Mask King and deal with Dracula. Though chances are that could be dealt with in two birds with one stone. And it's nice to see that there's some added stakes in there with a certain time limit. Plus, if chances are that they probably won't be able to defeat their enemies in time, and the humans will be exposed to monsters. And this will create a bit of like a X-Men scenario, where the humans are paranoid about the monsters, and they're going to try to either try to control them or try to outright exterminate them. And we'll see where things go in chapter 61.